Hello, guys. I am so happy to see all of you today, our beautiful community of more than 100,000 friends. Please, according to our tradition, confirm that you can hear me and you can see me because I'm worried about that. Um, it has become my tradition to have some troubles when connecting, but hopefully everything will go fine. And let me start with this super gratitude that I feel for having you in my life. People from different oblasts, people from literally every corner of the world, people who live in good countries, in happy environments, and greetings to Saskatchewan. And thank you for giving sponsorship and your support. And all of you living in your beautiful oblast could have not paid attention to Ukraine at all, but you have chosen to stay with us, to stand with us. And this is both a blessing and honor. And greetings to Texas, greetings to North Carolina. And I love you very, very, very much. I have to confess, I did want us to have 100,000 on the channel because YouTube recognizes that as a serious channel. And I felt like you give me so many good ideas, so many good advice. There are so many cool conversations in our comments that we have to be recognized. Greetings to the Netherlands. And I'm blessed to have you in my life. So please remember, greetings to the center of Europe and Vienna and Vancouver. And also, I want to thank my friends who are also my moderators, Martin and Spencer, who back me up, who inspire me, who calm me down, and who care for Ukraine and spread this message everywhere. And also greetings to France and greetings to many, many friends that I have found because of this channel. And recently I have posted that in the community that from one point of view, it seems like we cannot celebrate 100,000 of subscribers because the vlog itself is dedicated to war. And remembering this time when I started vlogging in March 2022, honestly, I'm not like joking. I was 100% sure this war will last like 2 weeks, 3 months. Because, well, it's quite common for modern wars, even aggressive wars, to be that short. But we see it continues for more than 20, 21 months. It does not show signs of ending. But from the Ukrainian side, I can tell you it's also very important for us not to freeze this conflict, not to stop until we finally win. But the sooner the better, because every day means more human lives, every day means more problems. But I'm very grateful, and we can celebrate the community of Friends of Ukraine. You might have noticed that I very rarely use the word subscriber because I don't treat myself as a classical YouTuber. I participate in one really beautiful project, Aspen Berlin, and in a week I will travel to meet with them again. We prepare recommendations on how to act in the social media sphere during times of wars and conflicts, and I learn a lot from them. And this project, it unites various social influencers. And most of good people whom I greatly value in that team, greetings to Finland, greetings to Edinburgh, and most of these people, they were vloggers, bloggers, influencers before the start of the war, and now they simply adapt. And I wasn't. I have started speaking with you because I felt the need to share my emotions. It was kind of therapy. And That's why I still do not feel like a classical vlogger or social media influencer. Yeah, I had 47 subscribers, and that's why I don't say your subscribers and I'm an influencer. I prefer when we say your friends, because you are friends. Even those of you who do not comment or who do not write me messages, and I don't know your real name, but your position, your desire to know more about Ukraine, conversations that you hold in your libraries, in your cafes, in your classrooms, they mean a lot to Ukraine. And greetings to Ontario, Canada, and to Texas Oblast. So, thank you so much for shaping this community, for becoming friends, and thank you so much for all the words. I've learned so many things from you. I have so many beautiful photos of you. I have so many impressions, and I promise you 100% that when Ukraine wins this war, we will organize a really big victory party, and all of you will be invited. And I think that many of you will come, because I live in a beautiful country with lots of nice places, rich history, beautiful nature, good people, very tasty food. So I do hope that sometime soon you will come and you will learn more about Ukraine. And of course, I will be happy to meet with you. I will be happy to be your guide, and I will be happy to tell you more about my beautiful country. And thank you for the sponsorships that you give to this channel. Thank you so much for the coffees you buy me. I have to tell you, I will honestly drink some wine. Thank you so much, Brian. That is enough for a really good wine in Ukraine. And you know that wine is not that expensive. And here I have a cup of uzvar, which is a traditional Ukrainian drink for a hot period, for a cold period, a hot drink for a cold period, and I will tell you more sometime soon. Also, me and Sasha, we have recorded very nice video to celebrate our community of 100,000 friends, and I think I will post it the next week, because many of you know that today, actually, the fourth Saturday of November, is the day when we commemorate millions of victims of Ukrainian Holodomor, which was a genocide against Ukrainian people organized by Soviet Russian regime that planned to totally erase Ukrainian middle class peasants who did not want to join collective farms. And it was like not okay for me to post something exciting today. And we also have a very beautiful tradition that was introduced by James Mays, who is the author, who was the author of a daily newspaper where I also work, The Day. And he is of American Cherokee origin, but he researched a lot about the question of Holodomor. And he had even a very powerful phrase like, "Your dead have chosen me." I mean, to do this research. And he started a very important tradition that you put a candle, and I have one next to me in the window, to commemorate the people who lost their lives because of this genocide. Once again, Russians were killing Ukrainians. And that is why we on this day we put candles, and it's very emotional. When you walk down the streets of Ukraine, you see so many candles lit in the windows. You know that we live in that part of the world where it gets dark really early in winter, and so approximately at 4, at 5, it's already quite dark, and you will see lots and lots of this candles lit. Also, tomorrow we have prepared a video about Holodomor. I had one last year that was longer with more illustrations, and this one will be more focused on facts and numbers. And I hope some of that will explain you more about this tragic page in Ukrainian history and might help in various conversations. So today is also an important day, but my country somehow suffers quite a lot. And when we think about generations of people and what they had to go through, it's almost every Ukrainian generation has something to suffer from. And I have the first question that I will answer because it's more about talking. Did we turn the clocks back 1 hour in Ukraine? Yes, we do. We did that in the end of October. We still have this winter time and summertime. Like every year, Ukrainian government says we can stick to one time, but every year we continue doing that. And I agree with Surfer saying that ЗСУ найкращі. Ukrainian armed forces are the best. We had a very loud night, not in my region, but in Kyiv and in many other regions of Ukraine. There was the largest attack of Shahed drones. I have a video on that. I decided to record it today despite our meeting. And this is about the work of Ukrainian air defense. Russia has sent 75, 74, not exactly like Shahed drones to Ukraine, and 73 of them were stopped. And a radio-controlled missile was destroyed. So particularly, Russians did nothing. But what is bad, they exhaust our supply of missiles that we use for air defense. Also, some people say this way they try to detect where Ukrainian air defense is located. And that, yes, something blonde, you're always right. So anyway, they try to locate air defense, and I don't know, even like if you follow me on Instagram, you can find the links in the channel and below every video in the description. When I was in Kyiv, I shared recently, like it was also targeted, and I shared the smoke in the skies that stayed after the work of the air defense system. And this is very important, and all sane Ukrainians know that you don't do it like demonstrating the location. So only what I can show you will be like the sky, or maybe just a piece of a roof, maybe just a tree, but nothing that can help our enemies locate the air defense systems. Plus, many of them, like the majority of them, are mobile, which is good. So one night they are in one place, another night they are in another place, and you will never know where they are. Even I will not know where they are, and that's the best way, honestly. And one of the reasons too why we have this curfew is the thing that we don't see a lot of things that are transported during night. And even if you torture me, there is nothing I can tell you because I did not see it. Thank you so much, William, for buying me coffees. And oh my God, Johnny, the number of your coffees that you bought me corresponds to the number of my birth year. So that's a lot, but that's a good number for me. You know that I'm like confident. I know many people used to ask me about my age, but I've told, just as it seems to me Martin gave me that idea, that I am an Orwellian woman, which means my age coincides with like not my age, but the birth year is the year of one of the books, titles of the books of George Orwell. Yeah, remember to like these videos. Martin and Spencer always ask you to do that, and so am I. Just I'm a little bit more shy. And also a beautiful reminder, like I will tell you a funny story. I hope you don't mind that. And it was about the age, because it typically gets some results. like when you go, we had one very famous singer in Ukraine. I didn't like her. My dad, who's gone, unfortunately, he liked her. She's like a typical blonde and really long legs, but she's not like that. She's more in this comic humorous style. And when the war started, she was very active in volunteering and other stuff. And one of her first videos was she was saying like, "Oh my God, guys, I'm constantly telling you that I am 35. Well, the war has started. I have started valuing my life, and I realize it's total BS to lie you about my age. So I am just like 7 years older than I used to say." And people loved her for that so much. um, okay, my skincare secrets. Good. I love sleeping. I sleep a lot. Sleep is one of my like techniques, and what is kind of good. Uh, um, okay, just like one of the things that works for me, that even when people are stressed, there are two types of people who don't sleep and people who sleep a lot. So, luckily, I belong to the group of those who sleep a lot. And when I feel stressed, I can sleep. And that is one of the main beauty secrets, I'd say. And greetings to all the beautiful people and kisses to Italy. Buongiorno. So, yeah, when you go through really complicated things like war, like the loss of my mom, and well, you really stop, like, I don't worry and I totally don't care about minor things like Russian trolls. uh, but like what I didn't like is when they some troubles like comments, our comments started disappearing, and some subscribe unsubscribe actions. These are the things they can do. But now we have 100,000 subscribers, and I'm really, really honored to have you. Also, ah, an advertisement, but with a little bit of fun information. So, I've told you already that I'm working on one documentary project. And this is actually a serious documentary project, not something that I started, but people I know. And they work on a documentary, 6 series documentary about um, Russian propaganda in various spheres like literature, sport, art, and like we interview various people. Maybe some of you know people who work that, yeah, 1994 exactly. So we, for example, interviewed Peter Pomerantsev, and like many other people. And I am like the main part that unites everything. So just like the backside of this documentary that unites interviews and other stuff is the thing that I'm uniting it all. And we have a lot of filming because we have a lot of like the deadline is really close. And my friend who's working on that, she's very, very like strict. And she came for a couple of days, and we worked here from my home and also visited a couple of locations to film some backstage and other stuff. And I was joking, like, "Oh my God, you have come on the Black Friday day when all the things are on sale, and I wanted to spend some time peacefully with my telephone to buy something." And she kind of said, "No, no, no, we're too busy." So she literally did not give me any time to buy something, and we saved, like, she saved my money and other stuff. I did not have time for that. And but you still have time, and because of 100,000 subscribers, we let our discount, 15% discount on the website for our merch stay. So if you have doubts, if there is something that you want to see, go check, because I've heard from many of you that our sweaters, t-shirts, cups work well as conversation starters. And, I repeat this phrase, and one of my subscribers caught me on that phrase very beautifully because I enumerated the products that are available on the webpage and said pillowcases. And he just like, or she, I don't know, sarcastically commented, how come pillowcases are good conversation starters? But these are not sleeping pillowcases. These are the ones you put on your sofa when your guests come. Anyway, also, we have said that today I'm ready to answer some of your questions about the preparations for winter because actually we have some snow outside. I'd say it is a little bit early, and for already for a couple of years already, like 2023, like I mean 2 winters already, people don't want snow in Ukraine. You know that snow is always happiness, snow is always about some inspiration. Children like snowballs, even if you even mm, if you didn't like even if you don't like winter, because I'm for example more of a summer person, but I like that I live in a country with seasonal changes. And the but anyway, first snow is always excitement, and so many people in Ukraine do not like winter now, do not like snow because it means more problems for our soldiers. Though some say it may be better than this wet autumn season when it's raining and the trenches are with rain in them, and it's like one of the most emotional and perhaps difficult things for me to see is these photos of people in trenches. From one point of view, these trenches, they save their lives, but from the other point of view, it's so awful. And what many forget, and I want to remind you, and I remind myself that like the majority of all the soldiers, these are not like professional military men who possess the needed qualities, whose choice was to serve in the army. Like most of these people are either mobilized or volunteered, and just yesterday they were lawyers, they were doctors, they were teachers, they were baristas. So they are many of them do not possess like these qualities that you like. You can say this is a typical teacher, this is a typical soldier. So in Ukraine, soldiers were not soldiers just a war ago. Yeah, remember to hit thumbs up and remember to like Martin and Spencer, who are great friends for moderating this conversation. Of course, it's not to moderate us because I have the best friends on the channel, but some ugly Russian trolls whom I keep as pets on the channel can come up. And this is just for them. Uh, Surviving the war in Ukraine. Yeah, I thank you so much, Danny, for buying me coffees, and I'm drinking this as well in all of your honor. Greetings to Australia. I know it is very early in Australia. And yes, I've told you that I was writing a book. This was a little bit busy time with this filming of documentary, which is needed. And this documentary will be dubbed in English. That's the reason why I'm so hardworking, because I like the quality of the video, of the people interviewed, of the messages, and it will be dubbed in English. And that's why I feel it might be useful for us. But I hope that I will have more time in winter, and I will return back to writing because there are many, many good things that I have started doing. And greetings to Kansas. And thank you so much for the sponsorships, and greetings to New Zealand. And yes, we are 100,000 friends, and I'm really, really happy to. I'm very, very grateful for all of your presence, for all of your comments. Um, Yeah, sometimes snow is better than just cold. Plus, we have to understand one very important thing: Ukrainian soldiers are on their own land. Many people, especially those who went to the territorial defense, and now territorial defense is also a part of Ukrainian armed forces, but many of them stayed protecting their lands and their oblasts. And I think some of them were mixed, but actually, I think it would be very genius if all of them stayed protecting their regions. Why? First of all, because they are motivated. These are not simple meters or kilometers of the territory, forests, I don't know, lakes, highways, but these are their forests when they where they were playing when they were children. These are their schools when they studied. These are their parks when they had their first kiss, and they know everything. They know the specularities because Ukraine is a very Ukraine is a very big country, actually the largest country in Europe, and we have serious changes in um, like not I cannot say climate because of course we're not that big as for example the United States, and but at the same time we have like forests in one direction, and we have a desert close to Kherson region that is now liberated. We have some swampy lands, we have dry lands, we have steppes, and people who grew up on these territories, they are really good at that, knowing that landscape, knowing its peculiarities. And so this is a combination of really good skills on the territory together with love for that territory. And many people who are in this territorial defense, they can remain working there. So during winter, during other hard times, these people still have connection. Villages, people on temporarily occupied territories, all of them are taking control of that. And this is drastically different from what is in Russia, for example, or among Russian troops who are unwanted here, who came as invaders. This is not their land. Some of them don't understand at all what is happening. So, um, greetings to new people who join our live. Remember to like it. Remember to subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and we have a Discord community that is very beautiful and united, and people from different corners of the world are that too. Thank you for your kind words, for your prayers, and everything. And now maybe more question. Well, what did Ukraine think about Putin before the annexation? Like, nobody likes him because for more than 10 years, I think, even before annexation, it was obvious that he is not a Ukrainian type of leader. You know that we had a number of revolutions, Ukraine was always democratic, and freedom is valued greatly in Ukraine, and that's why actually Putin lost his blitzkrieg. He saw that we are just like Russians, that we used to serfdom, and here in Ukraine, people love freedom very much, and they uh, there are some things that we will never accept. And it was very obvious that Putin is going to be a dictator. He's like in Ukraine, you know that the person who comes from KGB, who comes from FSB, cannot be a normal person. I'm sorry, because all of these services in Russia, they work against people in general, not like looking for spies or I don't know, something that we see in CIA movies or FBR. In Russia, they also kill and ruin their own intellectuals, bright people, journalists. Many journalists died during that period. Some of them were killed specifically for the birthday party of Putin. and also he poisoned a number of people, and we also have that in um, Russian crimes, like where I speak about poisoning and other stuff. Thank you so much, Scott and Run Forest, for buying me coffees. Thank you so much. So, um, and the start of his career actually coincided with the very awful death of sailors on Russian submarine Kursk, and he decided not to save them. Many countries, many missions from different corners of the world that like that they can come to that territory where this submarine was sinking, and they can save sailors. And they had like a day or more. What is more awful, these sailors had contacts to their families, they could speak, they were asking for help, they were running out of air, and Putin decided not to let others come. Well, perhaps they were doing something bad in not Russian waters, and he sacrificed these people, and they were dying online. Literally, everyone was knowing what's happening, and it was the start of his career. Greetings to Oslo. I want to visit Oslo very much. I feel like this northern countries. I want to visit Norway. I want to visit Denmark, of course, and Sweden, and many of these northern Viking countries. I'm very much interested in this cultural heritage, and I think we have some connection in that. So yeah. Well, I have spoken about Maidan Revolution and Orange Revolution a lot. And Spain, of course. Me encanta España y necesito práctica mi idioma español. And uh, well, I've lost the thought what I was talking about, like Viking cultural heritage. And I think it's something that we have to get back and speak more about the Maidan video. Well, in my recent videos on the 21st of November, we mark the 10th anniversary of the Revolution of Dignity, and I speak about that. Actually, well, I've said like Putin is afraid of Euromaidan, but I describe the reasons and the consequences of the Revolution of Dignity. And also in our Russian crime series, you can watch a video about the start of Russian-Ukrainian war, the annexation of Crimea, and I also describe the background for that. It is extremely important to understand that Putin wanted to annex Ukraine silently, as he did with Belarus. He spent billions of dollars on pro-Russian politicians. At the moment of the start of Revolution of Dignity, the head of the ministry, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the head of SBU, which is like FBI, three people on top positions in like services in the military were Russian citizens. Can you imagine that? For example, in the US, the Minister of Defense, the head of the FBI, and I don't know, the Minister of Internal Affairs responsible for police are Frenchmen. And that was the reality. And Yanukovych started moving in a very pro-Russian direction. We always wanted to be a part of the European Union. We know it's not ideal, but it's definitely better than Ruski Mir. And despite it is mentioned in Ukrainian constitution that we're moving in that direction and other stuff, he tried to change it, and he said like it's very complicated, we're super dependent on greetings to Jake Bro, and thank you so much, Jake, for giving like I think a very substantial part of your friends as friends to my channel. And thank you for being the strong voice in Ukraine. And also, guys, you are, how do you say that, witnesses that I officially invite Jake to celebrate Ukrainian victory to Ukraine, because he is a great part of this effort and the strongest voice in the US on YouTube, speaking about us and showing the success of Ukrainian counteroffensive that may not seem that movie-like style, but at the same time very, very vivid. And that's why Russian trolls are so active in comments, and that's why media, pro-Russian media, try to push to negotiations. And actually, some people here in Ukraine even think that Russians will not cause many blackouts here in Ukraine this winter, because they feel like the world is a little bit tired, the attention of the world is a little bit distracted, and they don't want to return Ukraine back on the news to show this like people without electricity freezing in their houses. So it may be they will change their tactics, because they are losing. They are not able to fulfill their plans, and they will try to negotiate or to freeze the conflict, and it's bad. Because what we need is victory, and peace only after victory. Ukraine is a peaceful nation, but many people do joke here that we are tired of living in a history book. But at the same time, we have this possibility to finish our war with Russia with Ukrainian victory. And a beautiful reminder for those trolls who try to spread Russian narratives that it's not Ukraine, it's just like the US or something else. We have a history of wars with Russia for the last 300 years. 300 years. Guys, America, the US, at that moment was busy shaping its own country, its own future. So, definitely, these are pro Russian narratives, because they were making Holodomor genocide, and tonight we mark 4.5 million victims of Holodomor. It was not somebody's interference. It was Soviet Union run by Russia spreading the idea of this Russian dominance and Soviet people, which were actually Russian people. And by the way, I encourage you to watch and share the video about Holodomor tomorrow. That is like a second in the cycle, because I had videos previous year, but this one has really important messages that can debunk some of the myths and misconceptions that Russia, modern Russia, tries to spread about this topic. What is also very illustrative, they don't let people work with the papers that are in Moscow archives, hiding the truth about Holodomor. From the video that you will see tomorrow, um, like the death rate in Ukraine in 1932 and 1933, which is the period of one of this greatest Holodomors, was 5 times higher than in Russia. 5 times higher. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, mods are super. And thank you so much, Jake, for joining our today's conversation. You see, I'm so honored to know you, and for all the support that you give to me and many millions of Ukrainians. What is my opinion about the mayor of Lutsk? It's very weird that you ask me that, because it's really far away from what I'm saying, but I don't like him. I don't like him. He's not independent. And he does not do a lot to boost the possibilities that Lutsk has for people who came to live here, for people from the EU who come to the western part of Ukraine for various very important for us missions. And like, that's what I think. Yeah, yeah, watching all the available documents. There are some good documents. There are books and that you can read about Holodomor and Applebaum, of course, Timothy Snyder, James Mays are the authors of English-speaking works, really good works on um, Holodomor topic. That's really difficult. And what do I do to keep myself warm this winter? Well, so far everything is all right. You see the electricity. I have autonomous heating system. I also have something like a small fireplace. And I don't have generators as I live in the apartment, and you cannot use generators in the apartment. But so far, it's warm here. We did not have any blackouts yet, but we'll see. Oh, shepherd's pie. Someone is cooking shepherd's pie. Okay, I will tell you a secret. We have prepared this beautiful video with Sasha to celebrate 100,000 friends. And in that video, we cook Ukrainian borscht. And it is such an inspiration. Honestly, I love this video. I watched it myself and I liked it. It's not common. Typically, I don't like the videos that we film. I don't like the way I look or something else. But here, it is really, really good. So, I will post that next week because I think like this week with all the mod, it's not quite okay. Plus, with all this plus minus subscribers, you cannot be sure. Christmas decorations, this is a good idea. Plus, you know that this year Ukraine is officially celebrating Christmas with the majority of the world. And I'm really glad for that because, like, already for a number of years, my family kept to this calendar because it's obvious, it's understandable. It's not about the face, it's not about the ritual, it's just about some misunderstanding. When you turn on logics, you understand it has to be celebrated on the 25th of December and then New Year. And for most people, it was not difficult. Russian Orthodox Church was trying to spread it as a sin and that you cannot get away with that. But of course, this is wrong. Thank you so much, Martin and Agneta, and beautiful someone for buying me coffees. So this year, Christmas will be on the 25th, and it's not a problem at all. It's just the best. Also, we have like all the in Ukraine people. I know that in Poland and in many I know that in Poland and in many Eastern European countries, people celebrate name days. In Ukraine, it's the same. So many people had this was a big deal that their day of the name will change. And for example, Saint Anna's Day, according to this Ukrainian Orthodox calendar, was on the 22nd of December, and now it is the 9th of December. But we do celebrate that. Thank you so much, all the followers. And yeah, many of you wrote me that you watched the documentary, the film 20 Days in Mariupol. And it's a very difficult film to watch. But this is our reality. And, when awful things were happening, people were like, for example, I've learned about the crimes in Bucha, this mass murders in Bucha from Facebook. I was just like, at night, I was reading the news and then I saw these photos when we liberated the city. They became visible and I could not sleep that night. And it was really awful. And Facebook started erasing that, and Instagram started erasing that because this is a sensitive content. And from one point of view, I understand it is, but from the other point of view, imagine how a person feels when her countrymen, her friends, people on the next street can get killed or were killed, were lying on the streets, and this information is hidden because it may hurt someone when it already killed someone real. So for me, this kind of, I don't know, um, blurring, hiding the information is something very sensitive. And I understand that, like, you know, I consider myself like a normal person. That's why I never wish anyone to experience what we experience. But from the other point of view, I do want people to try and imagine what is it when you see your countrymen, students, for example. It was obvious some of Bucha victims were students, the ones that you teach, wearing very similar clothes to the ones that your students choose, dug and hidden, buried in the sands next to their school. And the world says, no, 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 don't show us that. Don't show us that. We don't feel good about that. And it is even more painful. And that's why I'm very like sensitive when I feel that like YouTube erases something or people report some comments. um, I don't know how to find the solution because I do understand many people can get vulnerable and sensitive, but like as a Ukrainian who can literally be killed every day, you can be a bit angry that someone is does not want to see their reality. So someone is asking me if I'm a teacher. Yes, I am a PhD in linguistics. I teach some courses at the university, but not full time because also I have an NGO that has a number of EU projects, EU funded projects dedicated to digitization of cultural heritage. And that's perhaps one of my greatest priorities. And now, honestly, YouTube also takes a lot of time, but I love this time. Also, I work on the documentary, as I've mentioned, and I hope to find time and finally finish the book. uh, um, okay, I don't know, like German language, like we don't have channels. Um, yeah, I think it's a problem that we don't have YouTube channels. A lot of YouTube channels on in English, uh, in English too. Actually, there are not many YouTubers, and especially Ukrainian YouTubers, who would speak in English. And also uh, in Spanish, it's vital, especially if we talk about the opinions in Latin America. I have family in Argentina, and like they don't have access to this quality information at all. And the same about Germany. I agree with you. If I had the power, I would definitely try to influence that. And like, I've studied German a little bit. Thank you so much, Wayne and Edwin, for buying me coffees. And I'm drinking Uzvar in your honor. Greetings to Canada. I wouldn't like to have a talk show on TV because YouTube, even with all this filters, with all these trolls, thank you for the sponsorships, guys. Thank you so much for joining the channel. With all this, like YouTube also limits us, and I do not repeat the word terrorism very often because it feels like, oh my god. Or it's officially greetings to Norway. I dream to see your country. And yeah, this documentary is planned to be on international TV channels too. That's why I'm so obedient working on it. I even did not have an opportunity to celebrate 100,000 subscribers because this my friend director, she's a dictator, and she did not let me celebrate. So thank you for joining. Thank you for remember to like the stream. And so, yeah, Spencer and Martin are just great. And so, is it difficult to learn English? I don't know. I loved English. It was my favorite subject. Many Ukrainians speak English, especially this younger generations and people younger than me. Among the older generations, it's not that common because, guys, remember, we were hidden behind the Iron Curtain and it was not fashionable to learn something from abroad. Actually, people did not have normal access for that. Yeah, Martin says that we have 240 likes to go. And I believe we can do it. I honestly think we can do it. Yeah, about my book, I've told you, I was a bit distracted with this documentary project, and now I still have a trip to Prague sometime soon. And guys, to travel from Ukraine with no airports, it takes quite a lot. And when you see me vlogging like from somewhere, you have to know it's not similar to what many of you experience. Like when you travel a couple of kilometers or 100 kilometers to the airport, you had to get somewhere. And so typically, if I have a 3-day trip, I will spend a week on it. But this is Aspen project, and then I plan that I will come back. And this winter, hopefully, no blackouts, and I will work more because I've told you I have almost finished the history part, and I plan to focus on culture, this everyday life. I want this. This will not be my war experience or something because, first of all, the war is not over, and second, I am not living in this front lines. I'm not a soldier, but I want to spread more information about Ukraine in this popular way, and also to speak about my experiences, but they will be my experiences. Hopefully, I will manage that. I don't know when YouTube will send me this silver plaque. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, I will do the unpacking with a lot of jumping and squeaking. I don't know what squirrels do when they. Sorry, not yet, not yet. We haven't received it. Plus, no, I try not to ride BlaBlaCar. I did, but I don't like it. Also, squeaking, yeah. And also, I we have some problems with the deliveries. You know that I'm positive on my channel, and I forgive people their mistakes. But this blocking of Ukrainian border from the Polish side is very bad and very not timely. And I hope that this government will change really soon, and many things will change. But now, like it can take like months for something to be shipped. So hopefully, my silver plaque will not suffer this Polish lorry driver protests. Yeah, I would like to have a live stream or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, of course, it may be quite difficult for us from time to time. Some people get tired. Elections are always bad. But, one of my friends, subscribers, told me that, like, you do not concentrate on all of these problems. You wait for the elections to finish, and then everything will be back to normal. That's why I'm just like trying to ignore some messages that we heard in Poland or that we can hear in the US, understanding that it is just elections, and you know, people rarely do what they promise during election campaigns. So hopefully that will finish. Petters, thank you so much for coffees. That is not yet my age. I mean, the number of coffees, but I'm approaching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephen and Tony. And cheers with Uzvar. Uzvar is non-alcoholic drink. Yeah, I'm serious most of the time. Oh, Mike, I have a very strong sense of humor. And my dad had a very strong sense of humor. And he was like, "Oh, watching Saints 4K. This is a really good friend, like an old friend of me, and that means a lot." And my dad had this hilarious sense of humor. He had many jokes, and he was sarcastic. And I was brought up with his sarcastic jokes. He could be sarcastic with me, but I liked it. So for me, it was really problematic at a certain period of time when I was like changing this very young youth into more mature youth, how to filter myself, how to stop joking, because many people around me did not like, they felt offended. And I did not mean it. I was just like, I have this idea, I have to tell that. And now I'm filtering that. So thank you that you're saying that I'm very serious. That's an achievement. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul, Tony, and Stephen. Thank you. How much does a polar bear weigh? But I'd like to know. But I like this brown bears more. I'm sorry if it was too rude. Okay. I am so afraid to read the names that I may not pronounce correctly, but I want to tell greetings to Ireland. Islands. Greetings to Australia. I know it's really early. Yeah, I would love to feed the orcs to polar bears, but I'm afraid the polar bears will have indigestion, and as they are extinct species, we cannot feed them with orcs. Let's choose some other toxic species that overpopulate our planet and feed them with orcs. So they sometimes when I watch this Russian politics, especially when Prigozhin was still alive, and with all the other guys around Putin. I like observing and waiting that they can actually kill each other, eat each other like these monsters, and that yeah, 19 coffees. Yeah, exactly, almost 20. Thank you so much, Pat, and you know that you're a friend, and I so much love your messages and your coffees too. Yes, please hit like button. Hippos, yeah. So, did you have snow in your regions? We had. And in Ukraine, we have this joke that when it is like plus 10, we have Celsius. So, somebody teach me how to make it Fahrenheit, because I have no idea at all. My brain blocks that. You know that we have meters, centimeters, and other stuff, and I measure everything in that. Thank you, 100,000 friends. So, and the weight of a polar bear is 300, 600 kilograms. Thank you, something blonde. Now we know it. And that's actually, I like such facts because I'm a huge fan of National Geographic, Discovery, and all that stuff. And so I've lost the idea. It's good that I can be honest with you. Okay, plus 32. So when we have like plus 9, which is plus 41 Fahrenheit, am I right? And it's in autumn, like everyone is literally like wearing sweaters. Yeah, I look like a Turkish woman. People often tell me in Ukraine that I look like a Turkish woman, so don't think I'm a typical Ukrainian or Italian. So, with this +9, people are covering in scarves, wearing Uggs, and other stuff. And when it's +9 in spring, people are taking off everything and they say, "Oh, it's so hot, it's so warm." So that is interesting. Greetings to NAFO guys. You are great. And thank you for congratulations. 100K. Okay, I have this total problem with kilobytes and other stuff that I'm saying. Okay. Um, okay, greetings to Slovakia. And okay, how much does a polar bear weigh? That's good. I will know what to say when I'm in Spain. Do you have to say that in Spanish? um, Greetings to all NAFO fellas. I wanted to pronounce the fellas correct. And thank you so much for watching on iPhone and TV. And greetings to California. And sometimes when I watch the analytics, I like it. Mm, okay. Yeah. There is a joke that my moderators sent me. It's just like they are writing. I'm showing that women are good at multitasking because I'm reading the questions, I'm answering the question, I'm drinking, looking in the lamp in front of me, and we have a joke about the polar bear. Brown bears are great. A polar bear weighs just enough to break the ice. In a conversation, I will put that. I don't know how to read this one. Okay, so you see, multitasking. um, yeah, this is like stupid with this blocking of borders because I do understand that when any country is approaching European Union, a candidate, this is a long process, and many other countries show their character. It's about prices, salaries. I understand that completely. I know it's always a harsh period, and then it passes, and somehow, for example, when Poland was joined the EU, come on, many of your countries did not like cheap workers from Poland. I know that. I know something similar will be with Ukrainians, with a very big difference, guys. We have war. We have Russians coming from the other side, killing Ukrainians, and here, good friends blocking the borders. It's kind of a little bit different than just being in a normal country, then on its way to EU, and we are negotiating and quarreling about something. Sorry. Greetings to California Oblast. And okay, we do not have this tradition of Thanksgiving, but I think that would be a fantastic holiday to celebrate because it has a beautiful sense. The one that you have in the United States, I know it's celebrated in October in Canada, but the very idea of giving thanks and gratitude to a person, that would be very good because I think we need to thank each other. We are not doing that enough. Many things are taken for granted, but it's very important. Greetings to Madrid. Hola, Madrid. And but we don't have this tradition. And actually, like, for example, Halloween, it's also not very well known in Ukraine. I mean, the meaning of the holiday, many people are against it. I mean, this like older generation who says you're celebrating evil spirits and other stuff. But teenagers, young people, they love it so much. Greetings to Munich. I have never been. I've been to Germany many times, but I have never been to Munich. And I think that I know nothing about Germany as I haven't been to Munich with its beautiful architecture and beer and all that stuff. For me, it's very, very German city. So I think it would be great if we could culturally import uh, your Thanksgiving too, just as we did with Halloween. Because, for example, pumpkin is very central to Ukrainian autumn. We eat a lot of pumpkin. We have pumpkin pies. We have pumpkin porridge. It's very tasty. We bake it in the oven, so it's beautiful in the decoration. So it's kind of good. And we have just 100 likes to go. And greetings to Canada and Switzerland and Georgia Oblast. I love it when you say Georgia Oblast because, like, Oblast is something that was very Ukrainian. Thank you so much, someone, for buying me coffee and helping grow. Because honestly, now, like, I've felt this responsibility. I remember a couple of those milestones on the channel, or like a person who had 47 subscribers not that long ago. I remember, like, when I had something like 3,000 of first friends, I would feel like, greetings to Missouri. I would feel like, oh my God, I have to rewrite something, 300,000 people. And now I also have a little bit of this nervousness when I start recording. And I do want, yeah, we do have pumpkin pie in Ukraine. We like it. And by the way, an interesting Ukrainian tradition, may you not know about it, but I will tell you. And yeah, I definitely plan a victory day and you're all invited. And I think this will be one of the greatest party. And actually we can party in a different um, parts of Ukraine so that you see more of my beautiful country. And so in Ukrainian tradition, like before marriage, like I mean a century ago, a couple of centuries ago, people would send negotiators, like people who come to a family and who start saying, we have a man, you have a woman, and there are lots of traditional phrases that they use. They are not very politically correct sometimes, but if a girl and her family agreed for the future marriage, they would give bread, like karavai, which is a ritual bread. It's beautifully decorated. But if it was no, they would give a pumpkin. So in Ukrainian, to get a pumpkin is actually to get rejected for marriage. So that's why many people like joking, like if you're giving someone a pumpkin, people don't know why. Greetings to Olympia. And yeah, I don't understand Orban because with this 1956 history that Hungary had to go through, it's kind of difficult. Yeah, pumpkin tradition is harsh. Maybe someone received a pumpkin, guys. Let us know. We do have KFC in Ukraine, and they are working. And I'm always grateful to all the businesses that work in Ukraine. It was very meaningful when McDonald's returned. You may not like it very much. Greetings to Britain. But it's important that it returned and it works during war. Orcs don't have it, and we have it. But also, I'm a girl, all of this Zara, H&M, they all left Ukraine. They are not selling in Russia, but they are not working in Ukraine. And like all the people who worked there, they are Ukrainian. And they have this message, which is also total BS, which is an example of this concern. And they say, we care about the families of our workers. That's why we don't work in the countries at war. Like, what do you think your workers do? Not get their salary and hide all the time? Of course, they have already found other jobs, and they already work in other shops. And all you have is just no shops and no sales in the country like Ukraine, and which makes us similar to Russia. Russians don't have them, and Ukrainians don't have them. H&M returned, but I'm just not focusing. Like, I'm a girl, I can speak about clothes honestly, yeah, but I'm not going. I'm saying how stupid that is, saying like we care about people, and that's why we left them without work. um yeah, and eternal gratitude to our moderators. Yeah, why is given an even number of roses a bad thing in Ukraine? I do like such cultural questions. I know that in the it seems to me in the UK, maybe I'm wrong, or in the US, um, it's just a country. You have to give even number of roses to a person, and uneven you take to the funeral. In Ukraine, it's only for the funeral or graveyard that you take even number of flowers. Like, people who come from like younger generations, very often they don't count, but very typical. If you come and you say, give me like 10 roses, a person that uh, a person that buys, like a shop assistant will feel like sorry that you're buying it. So that's the reality. Mm, mm. Thank you so much for all of your good wishes. And yeah, we have 40 likes left to reach 1,000. And maybe, greetings, Matthew. I know you're a longtime friend of the channel and mine. Thank you for joining our conversation today. And maybe a couple of questions so that we get 1,000 likes for a 100,000 channel of friends. I this honestly, like, I know Russian trolls would tell you, why do you care about numbers? I care about the number of people who care about Ukraine, who will hear my Ukrainian message, not their org message. So of course it's about the numbers. It's about the numbers of persons I can reach. Yeah, a dozen of roses is unwelcome. You will have to do it 11 or 13 or something like that. Yeah, Iranian weapons are used against Russia, and you know what is bad? 1,000 likes. You know what is bad? That, like, we people of the democratic world, when we want to support each other, we still do everything according to the rules. And for example, if a country in the EU or the US want to give some weapons to Ukraine, it has to pass a very long way of different procedures. Like, people have to vote for it. It should not go against the rules. Or for example, a country that possesses weapons has to ask a country that produces these weapons, and it may take months during which Ukrainians don't have the weapons they need. And in this dictator authoritarian world, like, Putin asks Kim Jong-un, give me a million artillery missiles or something, and he got that the next day. Of course, it's bad because they don't have any rules and any regulations. But if you, something like Jonathan Fink, he, when he uses bird this, he says it somehow elegantly. If you, it seems to me, this works. So we are still waiting for 3 months, and they have it already. It's kind of difficult. Martin, you are very ambitious. 2,000, that's a lot. So maybe we can make like 150,000 subscribers during this night. Or hopefully, when like that, there are job opportunities. And for electricians, I think too, electricians were superhero last winter when we had blackouts, and people needed all these fixes, and not just the repairments, but also all the people who install generators and other stuff. We use not only generators but other things. I don't know very well their names because they are technical specific. but people need it. And That's why electricians were, and some of them were killed because they were on this object. And during winter, it's just like the heroes of war are not only soldiers. Many people from different, um, yeah, EcoFlow. Yeah, I do. um, okay. So that's a problem with all these dictatorships, that you cannot say they are partners, you cannot say they are allies, because they are just like Scorpios in one jar. That's what we say in Ukraine, that can literally eat each other. But it works. And guys, we have to win this war, because otherwise, more and more evil regimes will start raising their heads. And for example, I do have some subscribers from Taiwan who worry about their future, and I worry about their future. And when I listen to what Xi Jinping says, I cannot tell you I like it. There are not that many good signs. The question whether I read emails, guys, please send me only like emails that um, need something, because if it is something that can be a comment, that I work by myself. Like, I do have Sasha who helps me film. We have a designer for t-shirts, and now after this attacks and comments, I have a digital advisor too that I can contact. But I read all the emails myself, and it is like 200, 300 emails. It may be one. I may be slow. Yeah. Thank you so much for understanding that Ukraine is protecting Europe and protecting the world. Of course, it's also about Ukraine, very much about Ukraine, but not just only. And if for a second we imagine that uh, we lose this war, um, that is going to be a great trouble for the world, because Russia will definitely continue. I know many will say, well, NATO will stop them. No, if Ukraine is under Russian control, if they start using Ukrainian prisoners of war as soldiers, sending them like to Poland or to Baltic countries, approaching them, like and I'm not that confident now about all of these international organizations. They are more and more often ready to sacrifice something for the sake of appeasement. You very well know that appeasement does not work with dictators like Putin or Hitler. So we do have to win this war here in Ukraine. This causes lots of destruction and devastation to my land, but it has already happened. So we have to do our best, and we have to finish them. Guys, we have to finish them. Thank you for joining. Uh, yeah. Well, okay, wish list, Amazon, and so on. I don't know. I'm not that good at this marketing stuff. It's not the priority. But remember, we have a beautiful merch with sweaters. I don't know. They are so beautiful for me. I actually want one too, with this tridents on Christmas ornaments. You can check. We have -15 for weekend too. I do know the city of Zhytomyr. I have been there not once. And and maybe one or two questions more, and I will let you go and enjoy your Saturday evening. And tomorrow, please remember to check the video on Holodomor. And if you like it, if you feel like it, please share, because the world has to know it. And it's especially sensitive that things like that repeat in Ukraine. Um, Thank you so much. So, like, I'm honored. I like this word, but I have to double check how to use it. Or maybe you can help me. Like, I'm humbled. Is it okay to say I'm humbled by your support? Because that's what I intend to say. Hungary is not behaving well, and I think EU should react, not because of Ukraine, but because Orban is turning into a dictator. And even if you don't think about Ukraine and you look at the things he does inside the country, it's very, very dangerous, even when you not think about Ukraine. And I honestly, it is one of the conspiracy theories, but it seems very likely that it may be possible that planning this war, Putin spoke with him and he was thinking about the possibility to get a part of Ukraine if everything collapses. Because, like I live in a such Ukrainian region that, according to Putin's dreams, it was not a part of Russia. They did not plan to come here. Yeah, I agree, Spencer, that Hungary needs its Euromaidan. Uh, yeah. Oh, thank you, William. Thank you. That now I will use humble more often because I felt this is a good word. Okay. And thank you so much. Перемога для України. Yeah. Uh, please remember to leave. I read all of your comments. I answer many of your comments. I always read all of them. I get lots of ideas from your comments, so please leave them. Sometimes it was so painful, and we still work with YouTube on these comments that disappear. You've encountered that too. What I understand, and YouTube seems not to totally deny that it may be that this bots, which may be not even people, but Russia is famous for bots, and they can report our comments, even normal comments like good news or glory to heroes and so on. And if like 500 bots report, once again, another YouTube bot, which is not the person, takes it as a harassment, hate speech, and erases it. At this very worst, uh, it was that like my own comments disappeared. So, for example, you tell me, glory to Ukraine, I tell you glory to heroes, and it disappears. And even YouTube like support, they said, wow, it's very weird that the comments of the author of the channel, because sometimes they can erase when you insert links or when too many smiles or other stuff, they can delete comments or when someone reports, but it's very rare for the comments of the owner of the channel to disappear. And it happened to me many times. It still happens. What is also interesting, sometimes I give an answer to a provocative Russian question and my answer disappears, which must be some special informational operation, but we are working on that. We are united. We are 100,000 friends, and I'm sure we will do that. Definitely. Thank you for this advice. Sharing helps a lot, if you don't mind, because once again, we're not in Russia and we only do what we want, not what we are told to. But I feel that the world lacks this information from Ukraine. Thank you, someone, for buying me coffees. This is an honor. And yeah, 35 likes, and Martin will be satisfied. And so am I. 100% Україна переможе. And this is really beautiful. What? Yeah, like it is a problem, but please know that it's not me who deletes the comments. And it's not the problem, like just like be patient. I feel like this thing got worse, especially after Israel Hamas. Maybe they've added some more stop words and other stuff. But for me, it's extremely important to have our communication. And I feel really devastated sometimes. When like you have a lot of comments, you read these comments, you answer these comments, you give like 40 answers, and then you see 20 of them disappear. And that's a lot of like sometimes a lot of thank you, Meredith. Thank you for being a friend. I love your comments. That's what we're talking about. And sometimes it can be difficult, but once again, when I think about the things that my countrymen and soldiers have to go through, I realize how minor my problems are. Um, Thank you so much for all of your kind words. Thank you, someone, for Перемога для України. This really means a lot. Thank you and greetings to Minnesota. I think we have something in common with the weather right now. And well, I am humbled to have all of you in my life. You cannot imagine how many times you supported me, you've inspired me, you have gone through very many uh, difficult things. You know that, like, I'm approaching the time when I've lost my mom, all these blackouts, all these uncertainties, and it was very difficult, and it is very difficult. And I'm kind of person that even if I don't feel super excited, I don't like to spread negativity. And I'm very grateful that you are here for me and for Ukraine, because all of you are friends of Ukraine, and I can be emotional. But I am never like this designing messages, you know. That's why I'm emotional, because if you design something, thank you, someone, and New Yorker, oh, bagel, they are tasty. We do have some here. Of course, they are not close to New York bagels. I've heard about them, but at least in Ukraine, in a small Lutsk city, we know what that is. And someone says Mio, Zoe, and I say Mio back. By the way, do you know what is the Ukrainian for Mio? Yeah, I will not repeat it. So, uh, thank you so much and thank you, someone, for buying coffees. And this is such an inspiration that all of you want to receive these updates, that you care about Ukraine. And I promise we have to win this war, and we have to celebrate here in Ukraine. That will be the best celebration. And thank you for being like friends, for being family. There are so many of you with whom we have already developed this personal connection, and I'm grateful for that. And even those of you who never comment, who watch like every 50s video, this means a lot to me, because you're not indifferent. You care about Ukraine, and that is very important. So once again, I want to thank you, my friends. I always say friends, subscribers, not just subscribers. I want to thank Martin. I want to thank Spencer for their presence in my life, and that they have decided to spend their time, their emotions, and there are many good things, beautiful things that they do in their lives apart from this channel. So they are kind of busy, but they still donate this time and emotions to me and Ukraine, and I'm super blessed. So thank you once again, Martin. Thank you once again, Spencer. Bob, thank you for buying me coffees. Also, you know that Sasha is great. He's our videographer who helps film the Sunday series. And he was really lucky to taste the borscht when we filmed this happy video on 100,000 subscribers that you will see soon. Also, we have Andrei, who is a designer of these beautiful sweaters and t-shirts. Maybe one day, if you want, I can introduce him to the channel. He has lots of experiences how to hide in cave during missiles and drone attacks, and many of his designs he actually developed for our shop during the sleepless nights when he has to go with his family from the 20 something floor to a very well developed shelter in the parking lot, and he has a working space there. And he actually sends sometimes me photos how he develops a design of a t-shirt or a sweater in a bomb shelter, which I think you should know. And also now with all these troubles and stuff, I have a person who helps me with the security, and hopefully we will not have many security issues. But I'm also grateful to Volodymyr. And you see, it seems like, oh, the man. Okay. Thank you once again for everything that you do. Thank you for being friends. And remember to watch our Holodomor video tomorrow. It's not very difficult, but it's very explanatory. I was trying to pack the facts that you can use in conversations with those who doubt or with those who don't know. Our task is to spread the message, and honestly, the larger the channel grows, the longer this war continues. I realize how important this informational war is, and it's real. It's very real with this disappearing comments, subscribe, unsubscribe, with lots of things that happen, with lots of distortions. So I'm very grateful that you are a part of this really strong community. Thank you so much, Ryan. Flat white. I do drink flat white. I like it. So thank you so much once again, and we stay in touch, sending you very many hugs. I don't know how do I do it. Perhaps I look weird, but emotions are sometimes weird, but they are always very true. So thank you once again, sending you many hugs. Slava Ukraini!